I refused to give back the business I inherited after my divorce. When I was 15, I got my first job at this little car repair shop owned by my girlfriend's dad, Mike. I'd always been obsessed with cars and loved working with my hands, so when he offered me a part-time job after school, I jumped at it. Mike had 4 kids, all successful lawyers and doctors, but none of them cared about the shop. They thought working on cars was beneath them. But me, I was there every day after school and all weekend, learning everything I could. Mike treated me like the son he never had, who actually wanted to follow in his footsteps. He taught me how to rebuild engines, diagnose problems, and most importantly, how to run a business. By the time I graduated high school, I was practically his right-hand man. When I married his daughter Lisa 5 years later, Mike officially made me his business partner. He said I'd earned it through years of hard work and dedication. His other kids didn't care because they all had their fancy careers and thought the shop was just some dirty little side business. Everything changed when Mike got diagnosed with lung cancer. He was only 58, but the cancer was aggressive. During his last few months, he pulled me aside and said he was leaving the shop to me. He had all the legal paperwork drawn up, made it official. His kids were fine with it because none of them wanted to get their hands dirty anyway. Mike passed away 6 months later, and I threw myself into expanding the business. I hired more mechanics, upgraded all the equipment, and built relationships with local dealerships. What started as a 2-bay shop became a 6-bay operation with a solid reputation. For 10 years, I poured my heart and soul into that place. Worked 12-hour days, skipped vacations, reinvested every penny back into the business. Lisa supported me at first, but as her medical career took off, she started complaining that I was always at the shop. Then last year, I found out she was having an affair with some surgeon at her hospital. I hired a private investigator and got all the proof I needed. Since we live in an at-fault divorce state, I kept the house, most of our savings, and obviously the business. That's when everything changed. Suddenly, Lisa's brothers and sister, who hadn't stepped foot in the shop in over a decade, were calling me demanding I give it back. They said it was their father's legacy, and since I wasn't family anymore, I had no right to it. Lisa's mom called me crying, begging me to be reasonable. She said Mike would have wanted the business to stay in the family, not with some outsider who broke her daughter's heart. I reminded her that Lisa broke our marriage by cheating, not me. Last week, all 4 siblings showed up at my shop during closing time. Lisa's brother Tom, this fancy lawyer, tried to intimidate me with legal threats. He said they could challenge the inheritance since I was no longer married to Lisa. I pulled out the original paperwork Mike had signed, witnessed by his lawyer and notarized properly. Everything was completely legal and ironclad. Tom's face went white when he realized they had no legal recourse. That's when Lisa started crying and said I was being cruel, that this shop was all they had left of their father. I looked at her and said, "You should have thought about that before you decided to cheat on me. Your dad gave me this business because I was the only one who cared about it. I've spent 15 years building it into what it is today." I told them all to leave and never come back. The business is mine, fair and square, and I'm not giving up everything I've worked for just because their daughter couldn't stay faithful.